Hey there, it's Celeste with Conquering Canva with Celeste, and today I'm going to show you how to transform your text with this layered shadow effect in 5 quick, easy steps. And it's very easy to follow tutorial, and we're doing this all in Canva. This is actually a Canva document that I've created to take us through this tutorial. So we're going to jump right in. We're going to go to step 1, which is to set up your text. So what we're going to do is create a text box. I have one here, but I'm going to create another one for you. I'm going to add a text box, and I'm going to put this H here to make sure to put it next to this shadow. I don't know if you know you can do this, but in Canva, there is a copy style tool. So I'm going to put it on the S, take it here, click on this H, and it's going to make this H the same exact style as the S. I'm going to duplicate this for my A. I'm going to duplicate this for my D. As you see, I'm just duplicating and I'm changing the letter just so all the letters are the exact same size. And I'm going to duplicate, and so I have my letters set up. All my text is set up. As you can see, each letter is in its own text box. This will make it easier to layer the text once we're ready to do that. So that's step number 1, set up your text. Step number 2, we're going to add a drop shadow to our text, okay? Before we add this drop shadow though, I'm going to duplicate this just so we have an extra copy of it because we're going to need it on the next step, okay? So we've duplicated before we did our shadow. We're going to use our mouse, hold down our mouse, drag across, and select all of the text. We're going to go to Effect, and under Effect, you see it has style. It has none, shadow, lift, hollow, splice, all of these. We're going to choose lift today because we want to lift this off the page with a shadow. So we have the lift, and we're going to bump this up to like 80. This, and as you can see, this shadow is kind of showing now. And you have the ability to adjust the shadow to however you want it to be. Okay. So let's see if we can get this off here. Okay, there we go. Let's go. All right. That just wants to be there, but you can see the shadow under there. All right. So now that we've done step 2 by adding our drop shadow, we're going to go to step number 3, which is to add our outline. And remember, we copied the text. We did that on purpose because I want to take this bottom layer. I'm going to just select each one and keep it together, but I'm not grouping them because I don't want them grouped yet. I'm going to take this bottom one, I'm going to go into my effects again, and instead of going to lift, I'm going to go to hollow. So I'm going to click hollow, and as you can see, it made the inside hollow and put a border around it in the color of the text. So our text is selected white. See, it's selected white, so there's this white border around it, and it's hollow. So it's a white outline, and it's hollow on the inside. So let's change this up by going back to effects. We're going to make sure this outline is, let's say, 12. We're going to make it 12. We could make it bigger or smaller depending on your design. And so what I'm going to do is, as we do this, I'm going to pull this up, and I'm going to just actually put it on top of my letters, the ones that are already in that shadow. What I also want you to see is, look at that. You can do an effect like that. You can bring this down a little bit. You can bring it up. You can bring it over. You have a couple of options, even just using it just like this, okay? but we're not doing that. We're taking it up a notch. So we're going to make sure that it's perfectly, you see that little space? We don't want that. So I'm going to make sure it's perfectly on top. Okay, there we go. And I want to go into my text box, into my, not text box, but up here to this text color selection. And I'm going to select black. Okay, I'm selecting black today, but I want to show you what it looks like if we selected other colors. So we could select all of these different colors, and I even like this, and maybe even some red, or these are some other effects that you can use this with, but I'm going to stick with black today because that's what I showed you at the beginning. So the second step is to outline, and we just outlined by going to effects, hollow, and taking our thickness down to 12. Look, if we made it thicker, it could be that much thicker, but we're going to keep it at 12 for this effect. All right, so we finished step 3. Let's go to step 4. So step 4, let me go back here. We lost our little, oh, that shouldn't even be on here. So we're going to pop that out. All right, so we are going to add we're going to group our objects. So now that we've got these layered on top of each other, we're going to go over each pair. And you see, I just used my mouse and I pulled my pointer up and just made sure I got 2 pieces. And I'm going to group that. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to do the same to every single letter group. This is really, really, really easy. This one is already grouped, but I'm going to group it again. Let's see if this one is. This one is grouped already because I was practicing before we got on the video. And this one is grouped already. If it says ungroup, that means it's grouped. So if I hit ungroup and I move this around, it will show you that it's not grouped together. So I'm going to go ahead and group this back together. Group. So my objects are grouped together. We are rocking and rolling. We are ready for step 5. Step 5 is to layer your letters. So I'm hoping these aren't grouped. So I'm going to go ahead and group these. Group, group. That's grouped, grouped, and that's grouped. So I need to decide, how do I want to layer these? Do I want to layer these where the S is on the top or the W? I think I'm going to do the S on the top. So the way that I ensure that, even though right now it is to actually go to position and make sure this is, let's say I put it to the back. It would be like that. So I'm going to make sure it's forward. This one, I must have them set up like this, but this one we want to make sure every subsequent one goes to the back. So let's imagine it was in the front. We're going to make it go to the back. This one is here. So we have that here. So what you see is on each of these, let's see if I bring this up, there's a shadow in between each of these. What I want to make sure is, I don't think this is that 80 shadow. Let me see, is it? Looks like it might be. Either way, let's see. Let's see what this shadow is, if it's the 80. Now I'm going to pull this off so you can see it without the lines, because you may like it without the lines. That's, ungroup. You might like this without the lines, so I'm going to show it to you without the lines, and we're going to be done. This is such a cool effect. You can do it with the lines, a thinner line, or without the line. So that's a cool effect. And then you can always go back, put your lines on here, and you have a really layered shadow effect that you can add to some of your Canva designs to actually make certain text stand out. Again, thank you for joining me. This is Celeste with Conquering Canva with Celeste. If you've learned something new, if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe and you'll be notified every time I come on with a new Canva video. Also, if there's something you want me to create a video making in Canva, go ahead and message me and I'll go ahead and potentially create that video also. All right, so check me out further, my other courses in my bio, and I will see you on the next video.